As usual, this video is just as late as Nagzz, but let's not get hung up on that. This is the first quarterly stats report of the year 2023. For those who don't already know, just like always, we'll go over the different kinds of stats that we were able to gather during the quarter and talk about a few special occurrences that happened here and there while we present you our data. And with that out of the way, let's start the Q1 stats report. To start off the stats report, we have Suitwo with the deskslams stats. Ahem. It is time to go over your slams and damage for the first quarter of 2023. And as that intro suggested, the numbers are significantly lower compared to any previous quarter. Breaking from what I've done previously. I'll just show you the total slams graph first so you can see just how much of a difference there is. I'll draw your attention to the purple and green lines, which are the slam totals for 2022 and 2023 respectively. By this time in 2022 you had a total of 703 slams, compared to this quarter which has 130, that is more than 5 times less. Truly a miracle for deskslams. I'll quickly jump onto the next two tables to show you how each month looked. February was by far the quietest of the three despite having more streams than January. But as I'm sure we all remember, January was the month of scuffed streams, 10k internet and no tech guy 87. Which is where the majority of the large numbers came from. This is better shown in my newest addition to the reports, the quarterly graphs, so now it's much easier to see where everything is. I think most impressively you can see just how many days there were that had 0 slams. The only two big standouts were, funny enough, the first and last days of this quarter. First stream because of all the scuff with the internet, and the last day was the Mario Party collab with Seagull and Jiri, which seems fitting for a game like that. But I think the real reason deskslams has gotten off lighter this year is because Nagzz has a new victim. Chat, I'd like to take this moment to give some Fs to Chair-chan, who isn't having a fun time since the move. Here are just a few examples.
F! Don't tell me again! I'm gonna lose my shit, bro! You're joking! No! Oh, is it F? Yeah. It's fucking F! It's fucking F, bro! It's F!
Yeah,
So yeah. Throw one out for Chair-chan too. Sadly I cannot effectively keep track of both deskslams and Chair-chan, so I'll throw the invitation out there. If there is a Nagzz21 Chair-slams out there who wants to take on the challenge, I'll leave that task up to you. It's that time again to look at VTuber statistics from the React segment. We have started off this year strong with 16 videos being released in the period of January 1st to March 31st, one less than last time, but React segment duration has increased, so overall, more VTubers are being featured. Additionally, this quarter also marked the 100th React segment since the first began back in 2021, truly a momentous occasion. But onto this quarter's numbers. This quarter we saw 98 VTubers appear at least once in the quarter, a significant drop compared to last time. However, we also saw that 8 more VTubers who had never appeared before show up at least once this quarter compared to last Q4 of 2022. Meaning we are getting to see more cute, nice, amazing, beautiful and gorgeous VTubers for chat to say they've lost more times than the Mets in the regular season. This quarter also brings up the total number of VTubers shown to a staggering 427. And with just over 100 videos now, that means at least 4 VTubers are shown in each video. Which brings me to the next table. The top 10 to appear of all time. Compared to last time, the top 5 have not changed their positions at all. However, we now have real contention within the 6th to 10th places, and for the first time, Chibidoki has managed to sneak her way into the position 9, so congrats to Chibi. Finally, I'll share two more tables. The VTubers which appeared the most last quarter and which VTuber saw the biggest change in appearance frequency that had already appeared at least once before. For most featured we can see that Chibi and Tenma are the only two that appear on the top 10 and on here, and from this I suspect these two will also be the ones to contest that so far uncontested top 5. Additionally Kobo, Seagull and Pomu were also prominently featured. And while on the topic of Seagull, she saw the biggest increase compared to last quarter, showing up 3 times more so. This position is also tied with Nazuna of VShoujo and LumiKEKW. But just behind them are others like Ellie, Jiri, Cottontail, and Miyun. Hello Nagzz and chat. Venom here, once again, to bring you the Q1 full playthrough and big community bet report. This is where that report would go. If I had one. Nagzz actually did not do any full playthroughs of any games for the entirety of Q1. The only game he played at length was Super Mario 64 for 41.1 hours. Also, some of you may be thinking, well, what about Cyberpunk? Normally I'd agree, but that took place in April, outside of Q1, so it'll be included in next quarter's report. This part is for Nagzz specifically. What the hell are you doing, dude? Trying to put me out of a job? Maybe play something other than Minecraft for once. Anyway, on to the Q1 BCB report. In Q1, as mentioned prior, Nagzz was challenged by the community to attempt a sub-30-minute speedrun of Super Mario 64, where he had to beat the game with 16 stars in under 30 minutes. After a day or so of struggle, Nagzz managed to pull it off and then doubled down, tacking on a sub-9-minute speedrun of Jump King on top of it, which he also completed, bringing his record to 8-1. We got 37 bets in for that endurance challenge, which is about average for these challenges as of late. As we all know, Nagzz did just complete another endurance challenge by beating Doom Eternal on Nightmare difficulty, bringing his record to 9-1, but can he keep up that momentum? Will he get to 10-1 without another loss? The Q2 report will tell all. It's time for some raid data. This is the first quarter that has minimum size limitations on raids, so we can use this chance to compare data to previous unrestricted quarters. More on that later. In the past 3 months, we had 105 raids by 62 channels with over 65,000 total raiders. As always, in the background you can see the top 60 sorted by different criteria. You probably guessed it already, Shylily once again utterly dominates the leaderboards. On top of keeping her leads in total raiders, biggest single raid and average raid size, this quarter she also added the trophy for number of raids to her collection. Orkut Stronk. I debated adding the data from Bowser Feet to Chibidoki, but ultimately decided against it. I haven't consolidated alt accounts back when offline raids were a thing, so no reason to start doing it now. Plus if I did that I would also have to do that for the Honor Bros alt account, Onigiri EN. Looking at the distribution of raiders per channel, we can see Lily improved her numbers from last quarter's 23,000 raiders to almost 34,000. Which means she gained plus 10 percentage points and now brings 52% of all raiders to this channel. Wow! Here's a rescaled graph to get a more detailed look at the smaller channels. I had hoped that the graphs would be more readable now that the number of raiding channels has been reduced significantly.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But you still could barely see a pixel for the right side bars. Looking at average raid size, we can see that only 8 channels are above the average line. That's how much a small handful of channels can push up the average. Let's rescale once again, so that friends of the stream with smaller channels are more than 1 pixel high on the graph. Peepo happy. As promised earlier, since we have data on multiple quarters now, we can see how the raids changed over time. The introduction of the minimum raid threshold in Q4 2022 is very apparent in the data. While Q3 to Q4 data was mostly in the same ballpark, 2023 opens up with radically different data. The numbers of channels declined by 55%, pretty close to my prediction of -60% in the last report. The reduction in number of raids is even more severe, -65%. Only 20 channels raided us more than once this quarter. On the other hand, this smaller amount of channels didn't negatively affect the rest of the data. Total raid size grew by 20%, thank you Shy Lily, and I can't even use percentages for average and median anymore. Average raid size multiplied by 3.4, and the median raid size absolutely exploded to 68 times its original size.
Damn boy, he's thick!
To my fellow Stats Gang members, sorry for going way over time with this segment, there was just so much data to go over.
That's a thick ass boy! Damn!
Anyways, on to the next one.
Hello chat, it's me Mario.
I mean Zodiac, and today I bring you the Weebpoints and chat stats of Q1 2023. Over the last 3 months 1,868,647 comments were written in chat during streams. 10,150 of those were about Weebpoints. 539,508 of those were written during January, 641,337 during February and 687,802 during March. Overall we now have 9,193,608 comments written in chat since I began recording at the start of 2022. The most commented stream was on the 16th of March with 84,875 comments written over 5 hours and 16 minutes, which means an average of 16,073.96 comments per hour. This is also the stream with the most comments written during the last quarter.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Now off to the actual Weebpoints part. In January you gained 52,793, in February 119,284 and in March 186,486 Weebpoints. Overall that puts you at 357,563 Weebpoint gained in Q1 of 2023. As my last part, we have the top people who took and gave points to you this quarter. For the positive side we have Upall in first place sitting at 46,669 points. Followed by JSPector and S_Maxwell in second and third place with 41,130 and 38,220 points respectively. For the negative side we have Lil_at, Tiago Samar and Flying Halo 27 with -34,235, -27,004 and -22,156 points sitting in the first 3 places.
Wednesday we're gonna make a change of plans. I don't know what we're doing Wednesday anymore.
Hey Nagzz, it's time for the quarterly Seagull stream report, your favorite segment. This quarter, your averages for January, February, and March were 29, 35, and 33 minutes late respectively. This means your average for this quarter is 32 minutes late. That's 11 minutes worse than 2022. While March wasn't your best month this quarter, it was the only month where you were on time, and even early by 9 minutes on the 30th. Overall this quarter was pretty bad, but that seems to be normal now. That's all for this report, see you in the next quarter. You've been waiting for it, the Q1 2023 new Pog graduation ceremony. Please people clap for the Hivemind members who had their 6-year sub-anniversary in the past quarter. Graduates, old Pogs, and new Pogs, I am Brian, and it is an incredible honor to address you on this momentous occasion as your commencement speaker. It is with great joy that I welcome you all to this special day of celebration, as we honor the hard work and dedication of the graduating new Pogs. You, young graduates, are a special breed. You are among those that still experienced our old cramped faculties live with your own eyes. Back in New York City, where staff could barely move about and doors were a thing of myths and legends. Not many can claim to have witnessed the change of an era while still in their own growth phase. Neither burdened by nostalgia, nor clouded by blind naivety, your experiences will lead you forward, guiding you to where you want to go, with the wisdom acquired through your own power and perseverance. All of us old Pogs are incredibly proud to be finally able to call you all regular members of our community, and we have utmost faith that your contributions will make this place even greater, not only for this generation, but also all the generations to come. So do not be afraid to splash your own unique color on the canvas that is the Hivemind, and make your voices heard. Your actions influence those around you, and you will soon find yourself to be going from being educated to being educator, teaching the new generation of new Pogs important lessons that were imbued in you just the same. Sharing stories of witnessing antics in a tiny apartment without doors, and humbling an overly confident streamer by breaking their win streak. As we close this ceremony, I want to leave you with a final thought. Remember that the journey you have been on so far is just the beginning of a much larger adventure. You are the future. Make the best of it. From all of us, congratulations. And thank you. Nagzz. Do a speech for your graduates. Now. During these last 3 months, we were able to implement a few new features and commands for the bot as well as clarifying the output of some commands. These changes are especially helpful during the endurance weeks and similar streams when Nagzz decides to change the start time. Even with only very small changes, we've changed over to offline bets version 2.3.1. Once again, we started off the month with a bit bigger gap between the streams due to the move to PA, but even with that, we increased the average to around 120 bets, and thanks to the longer break, we hit a new record of 154 bets on the 11th of January. It somehow only took a single month to break our previous record, but this current one is standing strong and probably won't be broken anytime soon, unless there will be another later scheduled stream. During February we had a few days in a row with only around 65 bets, but that was thanks to the earlier starting time with the Twitch Rivals Elden Ring competition. Later on in March, we had a few days with less than 100 bets, but overall we held the average of 110 bets pretty strong. There were only 2 special days for the winners, which were once again thanks to Nagzz making a bet to be on time. Those of course were the 19th January with 40 winners and 2nd March with 36 winners. The average amount of bets is only a little bit on the lower side due to the Twitch Rivals week and had a downward trend thanks to the few days with less than 100 bets during March. Overall we are still looking to increase the average though. The average amount of winners was only slightly inflated thanks to the 2 days with up to 40 winners, but overall it's been on a bit of a downwards trend as well, with fewer days with any winners overall later on during the quarter. We are currently at around 3 winners on average thanks to the 3 PM days. Similar to last quarter, we had a lot of days without streams, but in the end we still managed to get a lot of bets. there were only 1,887 bets during January, 1,799 during February and 2,278 during March, combining to a total of 5,964 bets in Q1 of 2023. This time it's an improvement of around 18%, so we are still growing a lot. And last but not least, we got 64 winners during January, 35 during February and 63 during March, combining to a total of 162 winners. Without the 2-3 PM starts, we would have less than 100 winners, but we somehow still get at least one of them every few months. With the subathon this quarter though, a lot will change with the offline bets, so let's see how that goes. So, we've reached the end of our little presentation. I'm not sure how long it's been this time, but there are always a lot of things to talk about with this community. Just like last time, a few people took a lot of time working on their parts, but it still somehow got finished. We hope this has been enjoyable so far and you'll look forward to the next one. If you have any feedback, we'd love to hear from you what we already did quite well, but even more so what and how we can improve on this, since we want to make it the best it can be. Again though, huge thanks to everyone who worked on this, all the people who gathered the stats, who helped us out, the mod team who provided us with the resources and freedom in the Discord server to work efficiently as a team, and of course Nagzz and chat who provided us with the data. With the subathon upcoming in only a few more weeks, the next one might be very different or just be like always. It's not decided yet, but we are still excited to hopefully include a lot more data on the subathon and much more. Now let's wrap this up though. Thanks to everyone for listening and see you soon. Until then, chat.